didn't just read the excerpts. I went back and read the whole thing.
It's dangerous. It is dangerous, he says, to allow just anybody to feel they're exceptional.
Well, it is if you're, a Russian dictator. I mean, you can't just let people go thinking whatever they want to all willy-nilly and stuff.
Well,
man.
That's true.
Thinking they're exceptional, then you're going to start to see the rise of individualism and stuff. And
Hey, watch that. Watch that.
Yeah,
now, they might be, apparently, according to our statistics, a whole lot of Ruskies are hearing us. That's why I say, I might not have watched what I'm saying. Look, lad, I was just repeating rumors, all right?
We're just saying, man.
Yeah, I ain't mean no disrespect. I'm sorry. I apologize.
But we did giggle. We got to say we did giggle.
Because they scary.
But
ain't it bad when the Russians, people looking at Russians and go, man, they scary. Because there was a time in this country when somebody said Russian, and it wasn't they scary. It was, I wish show me one. I wish you would find me one. If we had people in this country that, was in positions of power in the government, and it was found out that they was friends with the Ruskies, man, they run them out on a rail.
Sometimes shot them.
Now, a U.S. president, a sitting U.S. president, is getting big boyed by the Russian president. This is the equivalent of Vladimir Putin telling Barack Obama, I want your cornbread.
And taking it. Well,
Bust up in there and took all his snack cakes and everything.
Speaking of taking it, that's pretty much what Obama's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, running around telling everybody, well, this was my idea. This was what I planned all along.
And John Kerry...
I've got Vladimir right where I want him.
And it's bad when the Secretary of State's going, this is not a game. Fool, we don't... Why would you say that?
Anytime you have to get out there on the world stage and explain that this ain't a game...
Things have gone way, way out of control, man.
And it may sound like Marty and I are laughing about this, but the only reason why we're laughing is because the alternative is us sitting here on the air and crying about it.
I am embarrassed. I'm offended. And you don't hear me say that word very often. I usually want to smack somebody when they say they're offended, but man, these people offend me.
Ayatollah Khomeini, the old one, not Khamenei,
right?
But
Khomeini. I got you.
Yeah.
With the emphasis on the
from 1979.
Mm-hmm.
They got our hostages for over 400 days, man.
Yup. In a way of bitch,
but even then,
smacking.
But see, that wasn't a smack because they had hostages. They had people at gunpoint.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mahmoud Ahmadinejad among them?
Yes, he was one of those little revolutionists that took over our embassy that time. All right. They kept our hostages for over 400 days. But, they weren't treating Carter, like their prison girlfriend.
No.
Because they had hostages, man. This was we'll mess them up. It was serious and everything. The Russian president at that time, he didn't step in there and start laughing at the U.S. and doing the thing. Not in public, anyway. They may have done, who knows what the Politburo did in private.
Well,
back then. But publicly, they didn't come out and treat the U.S. president like a big old whiny drawers.
Like sugar britches.
Yes, like sugar britches. All right.
I'm with you.
But now, see, this is why people have been comparing Obama to Carter. Man, Obama, when it comes to being an embarrassment to the country, Barack Obama left Carter in the dust a long time ago.
Oh, man. Woo.
And
don't get me started.
So now this situation is so embarrassing for the rest of us as Americans because our president, the term feckless, y'all look it up. Y'all look it up. I
Telling
keep
people, look
bringing
up
up that
feckless.
word, and it sounds vaguely suggestive, but the word is feckless.
Feckless, yes.
That is, it's got the picture of Barack Obama right there in Webster's to help you.
Right there in the Webster's?
It says feckless. See Barack Obama.
Okay.
And then in smaller letters in italics it says, and while you're at it, go look up John Kerry.
Well,
So this is the pair, the foreign policy pair that are actually representing us. I mean, okay, Obama sent Susan Rice out to talk to Congress and lie to them again.
oh no, man, come on, really? Gonna send Susan Rice back out there. Susan Rice.
Well, I mean, she
still thinks that a video is what started Benghazi.
She'd already lied to him one time. Why not send her out there again?
One time.
Well, you know what I mean. No.
You are in a generous mood this evening.
It's fatigue talking. But so, it's not like they were sending her out to do anything she hadn't done before, is what I'm saying.
All right, I got you.
So he sends her out. But the masterminds behind all this, as far at least publicly, is John Kerry and Barack Hussein Obama.
He even pulled Hillary. Don't forget, man, this week
he
pulled
pulled
Hillary out of the bag. Hillary going to have to come back. She's not Secretary of State anymore.
If she ain't saying I'm so sorry for Benghazi, there ain't nothing Hillary Clinton's got to say that I want to hear anyway.
Exactly. The only thing we want to hear out of Hillary's mouth is, this is what happened in Benghazi, and I'm sorry.
And this is where I was when all that stuff was going down.
Or actually, the only thing I want to hear out of Hillary right now is a guilty or not guilty plea.
Well...
Can I get a what?
Yeah, what? I'm telling you, man. We are in a shape... we went past pear-shaped.
Oh, I know.
We're down into some kind of quantum Mandelbrot.
You know how you know, too, that things are spiraling out of control for old Barry? When you got one of his chief cheek kissers in Bob Menendez. You remember Bob Menendez, don't you? Little Puerto Rican.
I remember.
Had him a little Puerto Rican sweet meat over there.
Well, see, that was almost disproven.
But when you got somebody like almost, that took a second, but I got it. When you got somebody like Bob Menendez speaking out about what Putin is saying, listen to Bobby Boy now. Listen, you got to hear this.
First of all, just your response to this remarkable op-ed from Vladimir Putin that doesn't seem to be exactly on message with what I thought was being agreed to.
Well, Jake, I got an email with what President Putin had to say, and I have to be honest, it was at dinner, and I almost wanted to vomit. The reality is, I worry when someone who came up to the KGB tells us what is in our national interest and what is not. And, it really raises the questions of how serious this Russian proposal is.
Or who's running this show, for that matter. But when somebody like Bob Menendez, who has pretty much been an Obama yes man all this time, up to this point, and he's sitting there watching. Now, look, here's what he's talking about, saying that, this is not what we agreed to. In that little op-ed piece, Putin starts throwing in some, and this is how it's going to be agreed to, X, Y, and Z are going to happen. And the president's going, wait, ain't nobody said nothing about no Y. Wait, I said about X, but what's with the, he's wanting to define how much military force is going to be military force. And even if, if X happens, then Y can't happen because you promised you wasn't going to have any military, and this is going to be like this, and we're going to oversee this whole part of the operation. No, did nobody say nothing about y'all overseeing squat? See, this is where the president needs to stand up and say, all right, look, first of all, Pootie, all right, you brokered this deal. You wanted credit for it. You wanted to own it. Fine. That's what you did. you went to the Syrians like you said you would, and you presented them with an idea. They give up the chemical weapons to the international community being defined by more than Russia. And once those weapons are taken, charge of, then the Syrians can go back to killing Syrians. And America will have no reason to launch any kind of unbelievably small, minuscule, yet muscular attack on Syria.
Yeah, we've decided that when he starts talking about us being muscular, but this is minuscule, what he means is we're wiry.
Well, we have a wiry foreign policy.
Which is, different from nuanced, you understand. But it is a nuanced, wiry foreign policy.
What you've got here is a den of lying liars and crap weasels.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle Malkin, for that.
Thank you, Michelle Malkin.
Lying liars and crap weasels pretty much sums up this thing.
Look, man, I tell you what. We're about at the bottom of the hour here, and we haven't done this one in a long time, and we never, ever, 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 ever take a commercial break.
Okay.
But I've got to, and I've got one pulled up here, since we've got some new listeners, tuning into us from the Going Beyond Radio and Shoutcast and all this, and et cetera, and so forth. Since we're talking about the Obama administration, I think this commercial would be appropriate.
Hello, I'm Willie Jones. Have you had a run-in with the local law enforcement? Last weekend, I found myself in the custody of the sheriff's department. I wasn't ready for it either. As a matter of fact, I was becoming popular a lot faster than I wanted, and my cellmate started calling me Sugar Britches. I didn't know what to do. Fortunately, I heard about Kenny Bun bail bonds. Kenny himself came and got me. My virtue was saved. So remember, if you find yourself against the local law enforcement, don't wait. Call Kenny Bun bail bonds at 256-237-9996. That's 256-237-9996. Or have somebody go by the office at number 30 East 14th Street in Anniston. That's Kenny Bun bail bonds. They'll have you out before you can hear the words Sugar Britches.
Thank you, Leon. Willie.
Now, that almost sounded like a campaign ad for Barack Obama.
Well, I figure since we're talking about the Obama camp, after all this is over with, they may need a good bail bondsman. And, Kenny will, he can do federal court. He can go get them. Ain't no need in Hillary Clinton having to sit in the county for too long.
Yeah, Kenny will get her out.
Yeah, Kenny can get out. He'll get us a bond. He'll sign for it. Lord have mercy.
It's getting bad when we break that particular commercial out.
It is. Look, I had to have something to smile about for just a minute, because in this fog of fatigue that I'm going through right now, my blood pressure is getting. The idea of us getting punked by some Russians is really starting to send me over the edge.
Well, I go to work. Everybody out here knows I have a day job too. So I go to the day job, and I'm working my butt off, right?
Right.
And I talk to people, my customers that come in, and they're salt of the earth types. We're talking farmers, mechanics, guys that work for the city and the county, and
people that work they work.
Well, yeah,
like work.
Yes,
yeah.
And people who come in and they're soaked with sweat. We all go out. We do our day jobs. We bust our butts, and we come home to find that our country has been punked out by a man named Putin.
I know, right? I mean,
and half the time he don't even wear a shirt. Okay, man.
And he's just so butch, so muscular.
He is very butch.
He's just so sensual out there, just all with his shirt off and stuff.
So this is we're getting punked out. Our country, not just Barack Obama, because see, yes, our country is bigger than one man. Yes, it is. But man, he represents all of us. When he speaks, he's supposedly speaking for all of us. This is making me ill.
And did you see the thing about that Twitch he had going on today with those tweets that leading up to the election last year.
Oh yeah. Oh, he was.
When Romney was wanting to give the Syrian rebels some kind of arms, and that's where we were